Hello, hello, hello. This is Jay Talks to You coming back with another video. Please do me a big favor and hit the like button, subscribe, and share to let me know that you are here with me. So, let me first off start with saying that I am so proud of myself because I actually, in my opinion, caught some news while it's still considered a hot topic. So, kudos to me for that. So, what am I talking about tonight? I wanted to drop down here and talk briefly about Jada and Will, Jada Pinkett Smith. And so earlier this week, I think like maybe 2 days ago, she, in an interview, revealed that her and Will have been separated for the past 7 years, since like 2016. Um, wow. um, just sidebar. I just wanted to, first of all, just acknowledge Jada Pinkett. I'm a Jada Pinkett fan. Like, I have not subscribed to the dragging that people do of her on social media. You know, I remember Jada from way back when. I am a huge fan of the 90s Jada. I'm talking about when she played Lena James on A Different World, the Inkwell Jada Pinkett, Set It Off Jada Pinkett, Woo Jada Pinkett. And just the list can go on. Like, she's done so much work that I just enjoyed always seeing her on my TV screen. And I love her and Will together, the love that they had for each other, you know, something that I respected. Um, you know, so, coming off of that, so back to this topic. Okay, so she came out and said that, so apparently she has a book. She is going on a book tour promoting a book, and I guess this is one of the details that was revealed. So, in my true fashion of what I've been doing lately, I'll just play this quick clip and then I will give my thoughts.
Reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
But in public, the couple, who married in 1997, denied the gossip about their marriage. This interview on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
So how long have you guys been together?
She opened up about an issue that has been kept secret until now. There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing...
Okay, I think it was just getting ready to replay. I don't have that many thoughts about this. I think like people really started to, like, prior to, what's this man's name? August Alsina, right? Prior to him coming out, I think overall people really loved and respected Will and Jada. We all know that there are not many long-lasting black marriages in Hollywood. So I think people held them in high regard for that reason. That I remember that Bravo, when her and Queen Latifah went on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, when they were making that movie Girls Trip. And so, like they said, that was like a year after her saying that they separated. And at that time they were together for like 23 years. So these days that's a long time in Black Hollywood, right? To have a marriage. So yeah, I think that's why people love them so much. We live in a society where, in as much as people disrespect the institution of marriage, there are still a lot of people who romanticize what they think the perfect traditional marriage is supposed to be. And so when August Alsina came out and, revealed a lot of details. Everybody remembers the entanglement of what was going on with him and Jada at the time. I think that's when like the public dragging began. And since then, I really have not been able to understand why people are so angry with Jada, right? Especially if you completely take Will out of it, which I know will be hard for some people to do. Just completely remove him from the equation and really answer the question, like, what is your actual issue with Jada Pinkett? And just going off of several comments that people like to drop, they'll say, oh, she's emasculating her husband. She doesn't respect her husband. She cheated on her husband. She talks too much. She's revealing too many details about what's going on in their marriage. Okay. So we can pick apart each of those things, starting with that she talks too much. If my memory serves me correctly, she didn't put that stuff out there about August Alsina. He did that. He's the one that went and started singing to media outlets. And even when he was speaking about it, like details, I remember I wish I could find that clip, but he was talking to the interviewer, telling him about how he went to Will Smith, and he was like, at the time, they were making the transition into an open relationship or an open marriage, and that Will Smith gave him his blessing. So I was like, okay, so he's the one that, talked about it. And even then admitted that, okay, that they're in an open relationship. Subsequent to that, obviously, when you're called out like that, you can't, stay silent, even though they could have chosen to do so. Jada was called to the carpet. And so both she and Will, that's the other thing I think people are forgetting. Both of them, decided to sit down at the red table and speak together, addressing what August Alsina had put out there, and then they were, they had their discussion, and it was they did the little fist bump, the bad marriage for life kind of thing. I'm going somewhere with all of this. But, yeah. Some people say, okay, well, they didn't have to respond. She could have just kept quiet. But I kind of liken that to Wendy Williams. When she was going through her stuff with Kevin, her ex-husband, prior to that, Wendy Williams' career was dedicated to dragging other celebrities and their marital issues. So it's almost like Wendy doing that, and then Kevin, embarrassing her, and all of this stuff about her marriage being put out, and then she just kind of like stays silent. No, you've been speaking on other people's marriages, so now you have to come to the front and address yours too. It only makes sense. So, with Jada, being on the red table talk, giving all of this advice to people, when you are now the topic of discussion, I think, it's their prerogative to want to respond to it. So, and so that's what they did. Then, people were upset about the Oscars incident. like Jada was the one that stood up and went to go smack, what's this man's name? Chris Rock. Right? People were upset that Will got up and defended his wife. I remember the comments at that time that, oh, she's emasculating him again. Oh, she's embarrassing him. Will, out of his own volition, got up, walked to the stage, and smacked Chris Rock. I don't think that Jada sent him on assignment, but somehow Chris Rock taking jabs at her was somehow her fault, as if she planned that. Will getting up and walking to the stage, somehow she orchestrated that as well. So it's like, what did y'all want her to do? Y'all wanted her to get up and jump in front of him? Like, no, don't go. Then y'all would have moved the goalpost again and say, oh, she's trying to control his every move. Oh, it's good. If it's not one thing, it's going to be the other. So I just feel like in the public eye, she can't win. She can't win, you know? And so now, people are saying, okay, that she's talking too much and people are mad, you know, that she came out and with this new, you know, shocking detail to people that, you know, her and Will have actually been separated for the past 7 years. So if this is true, which I believe it is, because how would this benefit you to come out and say this? I don't see how that works to their favor. So it must be, you know, that they are indeed separated. But now that she said that, are people still mad about the August Alsina incident? Like, you know, and again, even then, after that, Will still sat down and did a table talk with her, like out of his own volition. So, you know, and speaking of books, Will Smith wrote a book as well. And according to him, not what someone else said about him, but according to him, he's hell on wheels. Right? Meaning, not the easiest person to live with, but still somehow everything is Jada's fault. I feel, to me, if there's ever an opportunity to blame a woman in something, that's what people are going to do regardless. And so, like I said, I've been confused as to why people are upset, but I think I have the answer to why. Going back to marriage, right? Let me first of all say that every marriage is different. There is no cookie cutter blueprint on what the perfect marriage looks like, because there's no such thing, right? It's up to the two people in the marriage to decide how they want to live. Some people decide that they want to remain partners for life, especially when it comes to decision making for, you know, medical related reasons. There's several reasons why people decide to stay in marriages, but yet still have like an open marriage to where they, you know, see other people. Do I personally subscribe to that? No. However, I don't judge other people who decide that that's how they want to live. And so I think what really upset people is, like I said, prior to the incident with August Alsina, everyone already romanticized the idea of what they thought marriage looked like. And that's why they revered the Smiths' marriage so much. So the minute that people found out that no, they don't subscribe to the social constructs of what society deems as a perfect marriage, I think that's when all of the judgment started coming in. So I think that's the first reason why people are upset in general. The other reason I think people are upset is, again, like I said, people love to blame both men and women. They love to blame a woman in the breakdown of a relationship or marriage. They will bend themselves into pretzels looking for a way to do so. And so I also feel like people are upset with Jada. Again, like I said, if all of this stuff is true, then like I said, did she really cheat? Because according to her, they were not together at the time, right? So I don't understand what the actual issue is. But like I said, I'm assuming that what it is that especially men, I'm sorry, I got to get on men right now. We are so used to seeing in relationships a man having all sorts of indiscretions, cheating, abuse, lying, whatever, what have you, and seeing the woman forgiving. That's what everyone is used to seeing, right? So I think, because of what happened with them, this is a very rare thing that people are not used to seeing. So according to some men, they would consider, Will a simp, that, oh, your woman stepped out on you. And, you know, did the thing that you know, if you want to go by the Bible, or if you want to go by, you know, your vows, you know, for better for worse, he's actually, oh my God, you actually forgave her for her indiscretions. That's not, you're not supposed to do that. You're the man. You're supposed to be the one messing up, and she forgives you, and not the other way around. So yeah, he's a simp because he actually, you know, reciprocated what would be expected if the shoe was on the other foot, you know. And people also forget, you know, the first time I heard, not the first time that it actually happened, but the first time I heard of Will stepping out was when, like the early 2000s, that movie Hitch, what was his co-star's name? Eva Mendes stepped out with her, right? Like, so he's been doing his thing as well. Like, let's not forget, you know. But that was cool. Nobody was dragging Jada back then for that, because she was doing what a wife is supposed to do, which is to be the long-suffering, forgiving, you know, wife. But when it's time, when the shoe's on the other foot, now it's like, oh, you're the worst emasculating wife in the world. Like, what is I don't understand even the emasculating thing. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. So I think that's the other reason why people, get upset, you know. And I feel like with some women, are upset with the fact that Jada is able to thrive in a situation that is wearing a lot of women out right now, which is the idea of knowing that, you know, some women are probably in that same position of, okay, their man stepping out on them and they have to forgive, but they know if they tried such a thing, there would be no such thing as grace in that kind of situation, right? Like, I think that's why some women are upset, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I even saw a comment where somebody was like, oh, that Jada needs to beg for Will's forgiveness. What do you mean? For what? Like, y'all don't know. People don't know what's going on in those people's marriage. Just like I was just talking about Tia Mowry the other day, where people were saying, oh, that she needs to go back to her husband because it sounds like she had a good man. Tia said that she graduated from her relationship. That was such a loaded statement. Meaning you have no idea. You have no idea what goes on in people's marriages. You know, so it's like, who are you as keyboard gangsters to be dropping down in the comments telling these people what they should do, how they should conduct themselves in their marriages? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. Like, of course, everybody has opinions. That's fine. But like the way that people are like having a mental conniption, like just totally breaking down over these things right now, it's mind-boggling to me. So, you know, those are just some of my thoughts. Like, I don't know. I feel like she's damned if she does, she's damned if she doesn't, you know. You know, like I said, she's promoting a book right now, and those are one of the details in her book. You know, Will wrote a book as well. And I don't remember people being this upset about it. But yeah, I don't know. To each his own. Like I said, there is no such thing as a perfect marriage. These two have decided to conduct themselves in this situation the way that they have chosen to. So, and it's their prerogative. So I just, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure that this story will develop some more. I will be getting the book. And also want to go back and get Will's book as well. But you know, shout out to the Smiths. They're not legally divorced, so I think it's like I said, one of those situations where they really are, you know, dedicated to, you know, bad marriage for life, you know, but still deciding to be, partners in a sense. I think they also realized that it was profitable to, remain in the public eye as, the Smiths. Random thing. I also saw another comment where, in the spirit of me trying to understand why people were so upset with Jada, I also saw somebody say that, I don't like the way that she raised her kids. Like Jada was a single mom this whole time. Like, you mean you don't like the way that they raised their kids? Like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, those were his kids too. So however they have turned out, they are a product of their environment that both of them raised them in, and like I said, again, I don't know. To me, I think that those kids have turned out to be, well-rounded individuals. You have Jaden, is that his name? Feeding the homeless, vegan food. It's pretty impressive to me. And Willow is doing her thing. I don't know. That could be a topic for another day. But yeah, you see how that comment just immediately attached the children to Jada's hip, as if she had those kids by herself. Like, everything is always the woman's fault. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Again, this is Jay Talks to You. I just wanted to randomly come down and talk about this while it was still considered a hot topic. So again, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about, you can always DM me. I'm also on Instagram, Jay Talks to You. That's Jay Talks, the number 2, the letter U. And thank you so much for coming by, and have a good night. Another thing that I see all the time, when I'm talking about why people are so upset with Jada Pinkett all the time, is, oh, she's disrespecting Will by continuing to talk about Tupac Shakur. Childhood friend, Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur that's been dead for almost 30 years. I do remember, yes, I remember that Will Smith, guess he did an interview maybe during the early years of their marriage, where he insinuated that he was a little bit intimidated by their friendship or whatever that they had. I personally, to me, my understanding of that, it was like an emotional connection. They never really were physical with each other or intimate in that way. They were just really, really close friends. I think she referred to him at one point as her soulmate. So Will was addressing this early on in their marriage. I highly doubt that all these years later that Will Smith, with his status and his accomplishments, was still intimidated by Tupac Shakur. I could understand that, while he was still alive, but the man is dead. And your self-esteem really has to be below surface level if you are still competing with or intimidated by someone who is no longer living. That might be naive of me to say, but yeah, I just don't see it. I just feel like it's another situation of moving the goalposts and looking for a reason to be mad at this woman. He dead. Rest in peace to Tupac Shakur. But he's dead. What else y'all got? This is Jay Talks to You. Please like, comment, and subscribe again. Thank you.